Shout out to BWB, man. BWB, Damn Wagon Buffs. Shout out to BWB, man. You know what I'm saying? Big Wagon Buffs, right? Shout out to Big Wagon Buffs. Thank y'all for coming. BWB, baby. Shout out to TOP Sports Club, baby.
Buff Nation, what up? BWB, my bandwagon buffs. What it is, what it does, and what it's gonna be. It's your man's Harry Belgian. Family, do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Make sure to give me the thumbs up. And listen, BWB gear is available. Just look down on your phone. You'll see the gear right there. That's all the business I got. You know what time it is. Let's work. Another day, another hater. That's right. We all know that our moms and our parents, they told us if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. But not some of these writers. I don't understand what's happening. We got to talk about it. I'm going to let you guys be the judge of this article. You tell me if this guy is a grade A hater. I think he's a grade A hater. If you look at the thumbnail that he put on there, blue teardrops on Coach Prime's eyes. What is going on, Jack? You guys remember the comments that Coach Prime made about the NFL draft, about HBCU players being drafted. For some odd reason, some people don't want to let that go. So we have another hater who's talking about that. But this one I got to talk about because something interesting happened in this article, and I think we should talk about it. So let's go ahead and go to the article and talk about it. Because for some reason, they won't let it go, and I ain't going to let it go either. Colorado's Deion Sanders HBCU NFL draft criticism hit with harsh reality. What is really going on with that title? But okay, whatever this is. Published May 12th, 2023 at 6:36 p.m. So this article is by Jack Dignan. Okay, Jack, what you talking about? Colorado football head coach Deion Sanders recently heaved criticism at the NFL draft process for not seeing more HBCU players selected. However, the issue seems to be at the level of competition and talent at HBCU programs, reports The Athletic's Jim Trotter. I don't think they have a downright bias. It's more of HBCUs aren't a priority. Lock that in. HBCUs aren't a priority. Lock that in. Said Orlando Arnold, an Alabama State University alum and certified agent who has had 4 HBCU clients. For so long, there has been this notion that if you can play, they will find you, and that still remains true. However, at HBCUs, so much has to go into making sure a player is seen. Does he have the stats? Does he have the measurables, etc.? Are the pro liaisons for the schools being proactive with scouts and evaluators and informing them of the player? At the end of the day, especially with the transfer portal, we aren't getting that many NFL caliber players like we used to. It sounds like Deion Sanders' criticism was unfounded and that the NFL was right in not drafting HBCU players. Bigger programs simply have better players across the nation. Sanders' comments also come after a dominant season at Jackson State University, a program he led that undoubtedly had an unrealistic expectation of the talent that an HBCU is supposed to have. The Colorado football head coach attracted more prospects to JSU, which would not be the case now that he has left for greener pastures. It could certainly be nice to see more HBCUs represented at the NFL draft. However, that will always depend on if the players are good enough. For Deion Sanders, he will probably see more of his own players get selected now that he is at a bigger program in Colorado football. There are a couple of things wrong with this article. There are a couple of things being insinuated here. While I agree on talent pool, because we're talking about HBCUs, the argument is always going to be HBCUs don't have the talent. This is what's inherently wrong with this article. I want you to focus on this. HBCUs are not the priority. That sounds a little familiar, doesn't it? When you're not the priority, you got to fight just a little harder to get seen. When somebody's not prioritizing you, then you got to do extra work to be seen. I'm sure that sounds familiar to a lot of us. Some of us have to work just a little harder to be seen or heard. Marginalized groups. But isn't that the issue? Are we not to say that this is what Coach Prime is trying to highlight? Did we miss something here? That HBCUs are not the priority? The HBCUs, I would say that this is what we're talking about. Forget about Jackson State for a second. You're telling me that all of the HBCU players, all of the HBCUs, no matter how much money they have, did not have enough good players. I get it. I get the argument. It's about player. It's about who's good and who's not. But if we're talking about prioritizing, then we have to say, okay, so what goes into prioritizing? What exactly does prioritizing look like? We have to understand what that means. A question that I have is, why is it that they're not trying to let this go? This article was published May 12th. Right now, today's Friday. It's May 12th. The NFL draft is over. Coach Prime has made his point. The NFL just released its schedule. And my Jets and my Giants, we now have the schedule. The Jets have 6 primetime games with Aaron Rodgers. When are we going to let this go? Why is this still news? Is there an agenda? Did the statement touch someone? Is there somebody specifically that was hurt by this? Is feeling some kind of way about this statement? He made the statement, it made the news cycle, and the NFL draft is over. Why are we still talking about this? What is it about this statement that is still newsworthy? You made your point. The talent at HBCU is not there. We get it. We're trying to move on. And then you're creating thumbnails with 2 teardrops, 2 blue teardrops at that, on Coach Prime's face. So what exactly is your aim? What are you trying to get at? What is your aim and what is the goal here? Are you trying to say that he should be ashamed for saying what he said? Because apparently somebody is still upset about that statement. Apparently that statement is still making its rounds in the NFL circle. So somebody told you to write this. Is somebody in the NFL upset or it's affecting their bottom line? You sent out one of the biggest minions out there in Stephen A. Smith to refute it. Other people have already talked about it. We moved on. The NFL schedule's out. Coach Prime is still trying to recruit. He's trying to replace 52 kids at a program. Is somebody interested in trying to stop him? I think there's a concerted effort here to foil in his recruiting process. Somebody's still upset. Coach Prime and his team just put out a video talking about how all of the big news outlets want to focus on the fact that these kids left, but nobody's talking about the fact that he's replacing these kids with some dogs. And he's not even done yet. So all of these detracting articles that are coming out, whose minions are at work? Who's still sending their minions out? Who is still upset? One thing I want you to understand, guys, if you guys remember the video that I made and I said headlines sells. In that video, I explained and told you guys that everybody has their own minions. It can come from the university side. It can come from these other schools. We already know that Matt Rule's not thinking about Coach Prime. All he's thinking about is coaching his kids. We know that there are other coaches out there that are upset about the amount of attention that Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffs, who win 1-11, who do not deserve this attention that they're getting, and the 4 and 5 stars that they're yanking away from them. We know that they're out there so they can send their minions. We know a lot of people are upset. So there's going to be certain things that you're not going to let go. This is the world that we live in. You're so upset with Coach Prime and what he's got going on over there at Colorado that you want to make sure that you spoil any type of thing that he got going on. You want to keep writing and putting this detracting information out. This information that's going to stop prospects from coming to Colorado, from visiting him. We know why you're doing it. You're putting this information out. You keep doing this because you know that he's still recruiting, because you know that he's still trying to get some dogs in the house. And this information serves a purpose, not for the NFL, but for his recruiting process. If the NFL draft is over, then who would care at this moment? It's over. Let it go. But you know why you're not letting it go? It's because he's still recruiting. It's to deter other kids from coming to see Coach Prime. Because we know if you stay far away enough, you can continue to judge. You can continue to think negatively. But just like Chance, I saw all the videos and everything that they put out, and I've been seeing all of the social media comments and everything, and it made me think not to come here. But the second that I came here and I witnessed for myself and I felt that energy, that real live energy, I was like, I would be a fool not to come here and be coached by Coach Sal and the rest of the team. So if that sentiment is out there, then think about there are other kids that they're trying to make sure do not come to see Coach Prime. That's what's going on here. That's the decoding message. They're trying to stop the recruitment process. They're trying to stop the 4 and 5 stars that would have come here. But all of this negative and all of this leading stuff that they're putting out there, all these minions, read between the lines who they're working for. Who's mad at this guy? Read between the lines. That's what's going on here. They do not want recruits to come here. This is the bigger agenda that's going on. They want to put enough blood in the water. They want to put enough mud in the water and make it real murky enough to where kids are turned off and not come here. Spoil his plan. Stop him at the gate and then have something to write and say, well, you see, he's not successful. You see all of the noise that he made? That was for nothing. That is the agenda, because they know that if he gets the kids that he wants, they know he's the body snatcher. He's the ultimate snatcher. You cannot stop the kid from getting that real energy, that real Coach Prime energy. You can't stop that. The best way to stop him is to muddy the waters so that the kids decide not to even visit here. Because you know if they visit Coach Prime, it's a wrap. We can see this from a mile away. But guess who those blue tears are going to be for, Jack? Those blue tears are going to be for you. Because it doesn't matter how much of a detractor you are, we're still going to win. And you're going to be sitting in the back crying your blue tears. Don't try to throw some compliments in there. You know, his kids are going to be chosen. Now he's at a bigger school. Don't try to throw no underhanded compliments in there. We know what your agenda was. We know what you're trying to do. So your underhanded compliments are not going to work over here. You just sit back and witness what God is going to do. It's already written. That's what you don't understand. Y'all detractors, you don't understand that it's already written. Ain't nothing you can do to stop it. This train is moving forward, and no matter how much you try, you can't stop it from moving forward. You're mad that he's doing something y'all can't do. Your favorite coaches can't do. That it take y'all 5 years to do what he's about to do in one season. You can't recruit like him. You don't have his personality. You don't have his character. Somebody can come to you and you don't know how to close the deal, but because he knows how to close the deal, you're trying to stop him at the gate. We see what you're doing, but it ain't gonna work, Jack. It doesn't matter what the pro liaison does. It doesn't matter how much they do. If they're not prioritizing you, they're not gonna look at you. You can like the girl as much as you want to like her. As long as you're not that priority, she got somebody else that she's prioritizing. Guess what? Her attention is gonna be on him. All of her attention is gonna be on him. So you got to be 10 times as good as the other guys. If you're just as good as them, that's not enough because you're not the priority. So what that means is if you are the same talent that they're putting out at the Power 5 levels, if you're the same, that would not be good enough because you're not the priority. That's what that means. You cannot bring an HBCU player that is the same talent as a Power 5 player. You're just as good as our guy. Our pro liaison has more power than you. So if 2 people show up in that room, this pro liaison is from a Power 5. That pro liaison is from HBCUs. He's bringing a player that's just as good from the Power 5. Who you think they're going to choose? Who's the priority? That's who they're going to choose. It sounds like you guys are proving Coach Prime's point, but you're not seeing it. Y'all don't know how to read between the lines. The more you guys continue to write and the more people continue to talk, y'all gonna realize that you're proving his point. You are proving the point that he was trying to make. So y'all keep talking. If he's not the priority, then that's the point he's trying to make. They gotta be 10 times as good or better than the other players to be looked at, to be given a chance. So what you're saying is they're not gonna get a fair shot? That sounds familiar. I wonder who else is not getting a fair shot. Coach Prime. He's not getting a fair shot in the media. He's not getting a fair shot to recruit the way he's supposed to recruit. Why are 4 and 5 stars deciding not to come to Coach Prime again? When we were red hot, all of a sudden 4 and 5 stars are decommitting. What's happening? Oh, something's happening. We know what's happening. We know what time it is. We can smell it all the way from here. Ralphie's dunk is smelling all over you guys. All over you haters. But it don't matter because God has already got this written in the book. You can't stop this here. It's God defined. It's going to be a divine manifestation. And you can't stop it. That's why you're doing everything you can do. Stay vigilant, guys. Stay vigilant. I'm going to keep exposing these haters. And for all you kids that are watching, for all you kids that are listening, see what they're doing. They're doing it to HBCUs. And they're doing it to you. You know why they're doing it. It's a power structure. It's trying to keep the power structure the power structure. There's a bigger thing here at play. The money. Follow the money. Where's the money going? If you think it's about HBCUs not having good players, then you, my friend, do not understand how life works. This has nothing to do with HBCUs not having the talent. We know that. HBCUs have the talent. We know that. So let's get that straight. Let's get that out the way. There's something else at play here because you're not letting it go. Coach Prime is like, yo, I'm trying to recruit. Why you keep talking about this? Oh, we know why they're talking about it, Coach Prime. They're trying to stop your recruit. Guys, you know what? Jack denied, failed at the gates. Try again, come again, because you can't stop this, homie. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, guys. I'm going to leave it right there. Man, you know who I am. I'm the decoder, Harry B. And that right there was the Liberian Perspective. TLP Sports Club. Brah.